Hello，你好，欢迎回来，Welcome back. Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger and
Kitten.
Kitten is naked. That's why the camera is off.
No.
Okay, well, no. Camera is off because I'm charging my phone. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what that tree look like by now outside my window. So there's it's okay. You guys don't need to see the tree today. Now, if not seeing the tree make you depressed and you start to cry and you can't sleep, then let me know. We'll bring the tree back. But anyway, here we have it, Wisdom Wednesday. Date is September 20, 2023. Been a pretty long day today. Up early for a meeting regarding our upcoming placemaking project for the city of Vancouver. I'm going to announce more about that once we get everything confirmed. But it's going to, in short, it's going to be 4 workshops. Me and my teammates going to be doing here in the city of Vancouver in November, and it will be on Sunday. Every Sunday of November, we'll be out there. Like I said, once everything is confirmed, I'll announce the date, time, location. Hopefully, some of you will drop by, say hi, and do some art with us. So yeah, there was that, and then I was organizing the training room for quite a bit. We was sorting recycles, eating lunch. Kitten was vacuuming. So yeah, it's been a long day. So I got to knock this video out of the park before I head over to the martial arts studio for the evening. So today I am going to tell you guys an interesting little story. Interesting because it has sort of a parallel between a Chinese emperor and an Egyptian king. Are they called king or pharaoh?
Pharaoh. For Egypt, it's
pharaoh?
pharaohs.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah. Leader, whatever they are. So most of us that read deep into Chinese history come to realize one thing really quick, that emperors were just as human as anybody else. Some of them were so bad they would barely even qualify as human. But just like most people, emperors had their kinks, dislikes, likes, ambitions, and dreams, and things they wanted to do, things they didn't want to do. Back in the end of the Han Dynasty, which was roughly 2,000 years ago, there was a Han emperor by the name of Huangdi. Now, Huangdi of the Han Dynasty was not very remarkable. He became emperor when he was very, very young, about 14 years old. Now, for the most part, the one thing that most people remembered about Huangdi, emperor of Han Dynasty, was he was a thief. Now, I'm not even talking about like he tried to squeeze money out of his civilians or tried to increase tax money. Like, I'm not talking about thief in the same way that our modern politicians are. Sorry, have to throw that one in. But he was like a genuine thief. Huangdi, after he became emperor, decided to pardon 8 people from the imperial prison. These 8 people were the most notorious master thief of that time. You can imagine how long it took the guards and magistrate and law enforcement to catch these guys. 8 of them, the most notorious master thieves. And then the bloody emperor decided, we're going to pardon all of them. Why did he do that? Because he wanted to learn from them. So his condition for pardoning them was that they would teach him everything they knew. Ever since he took over the throne, Huangdi Emperor had a lot of fun. He had been busy. Almost everybody in his court, from his prime ministers, his ministers of defense, and his servants, and his military generals, and his imperial guard, everyone was losing stuff. It's like today, someone gets their house burgled, and lose some expensive jewelry, and tomorrow someone's missing a tapestry, and next day someone's missing their favorite sword, and the next day someone's horses is gone. Like no one was immune to this almost seems like pandemic level of being burglarized. No one but one person, the General Liang Jin. Who is General Liang Jin? Well, General Liang Jin was the guy who put Huangdi on the throne. So when there was a controversy about who should be the next emperor, and some people say, no, well, the elder prince should be the next emperor because that's how things always been. And someone's going to say, no, I think the second prince should be the new emperor because the elder prince is weak. And someone's going to say, no, sir, prince number 3 is much better because he is the strongest in battle. So there's always that kind of infighting going on whenever there's a new emperor needed. And in this case, almost no one was going to support Huangdi because, like I said, Huangdi was very mediocre, and he was young. He was only 14. But Liang Jin was the guy who pointed everybody in the right direction by saying, look, he's a kid. He's 14, and he's not even a good kid. He likes to steal stuff. So if we put him on the throne, then the rest of us would get to control the entire kingdom. He wouldn't know how to do shit. So let's just put him on the throne. So they did. They put this 14-year-old kid on the throne, and this 14-year-old became a master thief and started stealing from everybody except Liang Jin. So that pissed everybody off, and so the other generals and ministers, they were starting to have this rumor that was being passed along. They were saying that, well, obviously Emperor Huangdi is afraid of General Liang Jin, because otherwise, why is he stealing from all of us and not General Liang Jin? When Huangdi heard about this, obviously, again, he's 14 years old, full of testosterone. He said, what? They say, what? They say, I'm scared of Liang Jin. I'm the emperor. I'm not scared of nobody. And they say I don't dare steal from Liang Jin. I'm going to steal from Liang Jin. That very night, the guard at Liang Jin's castle captured a thief. And guess who it was? Yeah, Huangdi Emperor. And this was very awkward. This was awkward for the emperor because He believed himself to be a master thief, and he believed that he could never be captured. So being captured was very embarrassing. And for Liang Jin, it was very awkward too. Okay, customarily, especially back then, 2,000 years ago, if you catch a thief in your castle, or especially you're a military general, that you wouldn't even need a trial. You wouldn't even need to call in the law. You basically have the right to just execute the thief on the spot. But you can't in this case, because it's the emperor. And what are you supposed to do? And even worse is that this is the emperor that you told everybody to put on the throne. So now you can't even make too much of a fuss about it. If you start raising hell about the emperor is a thief and try to steal from you, and everybody is going to say, well, you are the one that want to put him on the throne. You should be responsible. So Liang Jin made a decision. He said to all the guards in his castle, look, from now on, if you see that same thief, just ignore it. Let him take whatever he wants. It's not worth the hassle. It's just the emperor. The emperor is just having some fun. Okay? Let him go anywhere in the castle. Let him take whatever he wants. Doesn't matter. We don't know how to deal with this situation otherwise. So from that day on, not only Liang Jin, but most of the rest of the minister and the rest of the generals and staff members that work for the court basically had this unspoken rule in the household. When you get a thief and the thief looks like it is young and it's about the same size as the emperor, just ignore it. Just pretend you don't see it. Okay? Let him do whatever. Well, the emperor had great time after that. He could go into anybody's yard, anybody's house, and make off of anything he wanted. Yeah, he was having fun. Now, if the story just ended here, then this would forever just be kind of a joke, and Huan Di would just be a joke character. But interestingly enough, the story took a much more serious turn. About half a year after Huan Di was caught trying to burglarize the castle of Liang Jin, and Liang Jin told all his guard, hey, in the future, just ignore him. Don't try to arrest him. Just let him take whatever. Let him go anywhere he wants. About half a year after that, the Emperor Huan Di and some of his most trusted soldiers had a secret meeting in the imperial washroom. And we don't know what was said in the washroom, but basically what happened was after this meeting in the imperial washroom, the imperial guard went and arrested General Liang Jin, dragged him, put him in chains and dragged him to the imperial palace and dumped him in front of the young emperor Huan Di. Obviously, Liang Jin being older and a very seasoned warrior and a very high-ranking general, he wasn't even scared at this point. He was thinking, what? You are 14 years old. You really think that you have any kind of power over me? And even if you want to do anything to me, you need to have proof. You need to have proof of me doing anything wrong, right? You're a stupid child, 14-year-old stupid child. All you know is steal things from people's house. You spend your days playing games, trying to become a master thief. What can you do to me? But very soon, General Liang Jin was shocked into silence when the Emperor Huan Di slapped a big pile of documents down in front of him. All the documents that he was writing all the exchanges he made to other lords plotting rebellion. Apparently, when Huang Di was stealing from his house, Huang Di was not just playing a game. He wasn't just looking for fun things to steal. He was looking for proofs of treason. And all this happened without anyone knowing it because Liang Jin himself told his guard to just let him do whatever he wants. So the General Liang Jin was very soon found guilty of treason and executed. And this was basically the brightest point of Emperor Huangdi's life. Everybody thought he was a super smart emperor because he used his thieving activity to disguise him actually poking around looking for treasonous materials from his general. Whether he found those documents purely by luck, maybe it was all fluke, or maybe he really was looking for them, we'll never know. But it made an interesting story. Now, I did say that this draws a parallel from the Chinese emperor Huangdi to an Egyptian pharaoh. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but there are some of you that don't know that there was a famous Egyptian pharaoh who was a thieving bastard as well. And this wasn't even that long ago. The last pharaoh, king, leader of Egypt, and this was right around the time of Second World War, when the last imperial figure existed in Egypt before he got overthrown by rebels. This leader, this pharaoh, he was most notorious as a thief, and he was really, really good at it. Most of you know about the Cairo Convention in 1944, when the United Nations people from the Allies were meeting in Cairo, Egypt, to discuss the war. Well, when Winston Churchill went to the meeting, next day he got the royal treatment and stayed at the Cairo Palace and got to meet with the pharaoh and all that stuff. Next day, Winston Churchill, woke up in his hotel room and found his favorite watch missing. And he didn't know what to do. Like, come on, I am staying in a palace. How can my watch go missing? So he called the secret police, and the secret police, every one of them knew what was happening. They knew their own pharaoh was a thief. So, but you can't tell a foreign dignitary that. So they basically told Churchill, we'll investigate. And then the secret police went to talk to the pharaoh. Hey, dude, that's not cool. He's a guy from England. He's here for the convention, and come on, you can't just steal his shit. So a few days later, the watch magically reappeared in his hotel room. Was given back to him. Now, if you want an example of exactly how good a thief this pharaoh, the last pharaoh of Egypt, how good he was, there was this one time when his brother-in-law passed away, and his brother-in-law's coffin was making its way from Persia to Iran, and halfway they stopped by at Cairo, Egypt, so the pharaoh can pay proper respect to his deceased brother-in-law. No one knew how he did it, right? Like, the coffin was sealed, closed, no one opened it, but by the time it got back to Iran, it's when they realized the brother-in-law's sword was missing from the coffin. Yeah, you tell me. I don't know. Like, no one opened the coffin, so how did he steal that sword from the coffin? But he did it. And how do we know he did it? Because after he was overthrown by the rebels, they found a secret chamber in the palace. And in this secret chamber was every single item that this pharaoh has ever stolen. There were things including women's lipsticks, women's hair picks, dresses, slippers, men's watches, jewelries, knives, daggers, and in the centerpiece in this room was the missing sword from his brother's coffin. So yeah, again, not sure how he accomplished that, but he obviously was a really, really good thief. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode that I personally found very interesting. That both Egypt and China had master thief level leaders somewhere in the past. Like I said, emperors, pharaohs, whatever, including the Pope, maybe. They are just as human as everybody else, and they have the interesting little kinks that sometimes make really good story. Thank you for checking out today's episode. We'll be back again tomorrow for some Toy Thursday. For now, 谢谢 and
谢谢，再见。
再见。